Hi there, I care and you matter. I'm Shannon and welcome to my channel and welcome to another video, specifically a Talk Tuesday video where we just talk about life in general. These are my favorite because I just feel like I get to sit down and visit with you. So today is November 23rd, had to look at my calendar, a Sunday, just literally days before Thanksgiving here in the United States. And you guys, I was sitting down the other day, first of all, wondering where in the world did this year go? Oh my goodness. And then my thoughts drifted to the fact that I didn't reach all my goals and for the year. And so that was really disappointing because first of all, I have a big milestone birthday coming up. I turned 50 here at the beginning of December. And first of all, I got really depressed because I didn't reach my goals. And I recognize that depression, when you get, it's really easy to get stuck in that quicksand because it seems like you go down very slowly, right? But the further down you go, the harder it is to climb back up. So I thought, no, we're hitting pause. And I didn't get out a piece of paper, but if you want to do this, I recommend a piece of paper. I was just doing it mentally because I was already laying in bed, stuck in my own thoughts. But if you have a few minutes and if you're feeling like this, get a piece of paper, get a pen, and I want you to write down all the things that might not have been in your planner, but all the things that life threw your way this year, all the things that came out of left field, all the crap that hit the fan that you still managed to deal with, to overcome, to juggle, to manage. Anything that took your time, energy, effort that you didn't expect, write those down. And it's really interesting to hear, think about, or to watch that list grow. And when I started to do that, I was like, whoa, I wasn't sitting on my butt the whole year. I mean, for me personally, our son, Nate, our biological son, our only biological child, our oldest son, he moved out. We didn't know he would be moving out. I mean, that happened in July, and we had 3 weeks notice. He landed this very prestigious internship that required him to move 3.5, 4 hours away in 3 weeks. And many of you know my husband is still unemployed, and I'm like, oh, right. So everything to like fill up his apartment had to be purchased secondhand in the course of 3 weeks. Is insane. It was insane. So of course that was something that came out of left field, and it was great for Nate. And as a mom, I was going to do everything I possibly could to support him and, get him started off on the right foot. But that wasn't on my list. Menopause? Can we talk about that? Because I'm in the middle of it, and that is not fun. Talk about a major biological shift that affects how I'm feeling. It affects my sleep, affects my energy. Didn't have that on my calendar, or it was on my radar, but I guess I didn't plan for how that might affect me as much as it has. So there was that. I'm a caretaker to our adult son, our adopted son with special needs. Oh, good Lord. Oh, good Lord. The amount of paperwork and admin work that goes along with that on top of the day-to-day tasks of caring for him. I could go on and on and on, but I digress. And so I'm like, so I switched from, pardon that, I saw a cat hair was bothering me. I switched from being depressed to, oh my goodness, how can I make plans next year that will honor where I want to be? Because, like I said, I got a big birthday coming up, and I'm a little blue about that. And it's not the chronological age that bothers me, because I recognize there are far too many people in my graduating high school class who passed away in their 20s. So I am grateful, thank you Jesus, that I am still here and in fairly decent health to be complaining about all this. But the depressing thing about it is, the sad thing about it is, I'm not where I want to be. I'm not. And by that, I mean, I had goals. I had professional goals. I had creative goals. And, I don't want to get too far into that because I might get a little upset and cry. But I'm not where I want to be. And that is so incredibly disappointing. On one hand, I'm mom. And that is the number one job that I have. And Nate's flown the nest. He succeeded. And Mark is doing as good as he possibly can. But I'm at this stage where I'm like, okay, what about me? What about my identity? What about my personal goals? And while some of my identity obviously is wrapped up in being a mom and a wife, I feel it's very important that I have my own identity too. And I want to be creative and I want to be a writer, and that needs to be prioritized. And so going into 2026, and I'm not waiting to the beginning of the year because, again, I am not a fan of New Year's resolutions, but I'm trying to set myself up with some habits that are still new, still working on that, for writing. And I want to get myself set up on a right foot to go into the next year to walk in the identity that I want to have, because it feels incredibly fulfilling to do that. And I notice that my mood changes if I don't prioritize time to do that. And that's not fair to me, and it's not fair to anybody else. So yeah, there's that. But overall, I don't know, this year is bittersweet because Nate isn't coming for Thanksgiving. He just can't. He's too busy with work, one, and two, working on grad school applications, which, God bless him. He's very diligent, very driven. But he is coming home for a month in December for Christmas. So yeah, that'll be a lot of fun, and I don't know, it'll be weird to have him here because it's interesting, because when I talk to him on the phone now, his vernacular, his syntax, the way he talks is completely changed. I mean, the other day I said, love you, Nate. Hope you have a great week. And he said, you as well. I'm like, you as well? This is just so formal, right? But yeah, it's been interesting to see him change and to see him grow, which is all great. But I want to change and I want to grow. Grow into a creative professional. And I think I shared this in one of my other videos, but I'm going to touch on this here. In this day and age of just the world, right? The world is hurting. AI, oh gosh, I am not a fan. Rage against the machines, guys. I just feel like there's no point in history has it been more important for human creative works to be putting out there, right? I think it's so important, because I think that it's through creativity is how we connect with other humans, whether that be story, whether that be art, whether that just be content, but human to human. You guys are going to love this. Oh my goodness. I was on the phone with our health insurance company, and I had a question. And so I'm talking to the agent, and at one point she says, Shannon, that's your first name. May I call you by your first name? I said, yes, absolutely. She used my name once, and then she kept calling me member. And I said, excuse me, is this AI or is this a human agent? And then there was a long pause, and she said, I'm a human, I'm an agent. And I said, okay. And I said, you asked me for permission to call me by my name, which I said that'd be great, but you keep referring to me as a member. And she kind of stuttered. And then I asked her some questions, and then she kept calling me member again, and she never answered the questions. And I thought, oh my God, are we losing our humanity? Because I realized what she was doing is she was reading a script. She wasn't listening to me. She wasn't listening to me, or she would have been able to answer the question. And so I asked, is this phone call being recorded? And she said, yeah. No, first she said no. Then she backpedaled and said, yes, all calls are recorded. And I said, great, that's important to know, because this phone conversation is not working. Can I be rerouted to a different agent or your supervisor? I ended up hanging up because it was just awful. It was awful. But I feel like, oh my goodness, too many people are handing over their autonomy, whether it be in managing their day and their schedule, to doing their work, to writing, to creating art. They're handing over their creative autonomy, their humanity to machines in the name of saving time. Good God, no. Creativity and connecting with other people is worth our time and effort. And so, yeah, I personally just feel really called to do that. That's really heavy on my heart. And I've just been really disappointed because over the last year, I think I've shared this with you before. We gave up our cable television to save $200 a month. We also gave up our landline too. We had a triple bundle deal through Xfinity, Comcast. Anyway, to save money in preparation for being able to hopefully pay our increased premium on our health insurance, which is going up in 2026. We're being proactive and making all those financial changes and difficult decisions now. So we gave up cable, which has been great in the sense that we have more time for creative pursuits, more time for just visiting, playing card games. Jason and I love solitaire, multi-hand solitaire, and then reading. But it seems like every book I've picked up to read this year has been no good. I either didn't like it, hated the characters, loathed the protagonist. The book that I'm reading now, The Measure, it's a great story, but I'm finding, it's a little bit of a downer. It's a little bit of heavy. It's heavy. It's too much rooted in the real world, which is great in terms of, magical realism. That's what it is. But it's a downer. And when I pick up a book and open the pages, I'm doing that to get an escape from the world that I don't want to be in for a little bit, even if it's full on pretend. I don't care. Take me away. I want a book that takes me away. I don't want to rely on Calgon, right? If you're from the 80s, you know where I'm going with that. But, Calgon, take me away. But I decided I want to write books. I want to write books that are clean, are not too crazy long, but are fun and adventurous and are feel good, right? We got enough crap in the real world. We don't need it. I don't have to pay someone to put me, to get me all upset, right? Oh my gosh. It's like, this is funny. I don't know if I've shared this or not. I loathe puzzles, right? Jason, my husband, likes puzzles. My in-laws love puzzles. I'm like, my life can sometimes feel like a mess already. Completely broken, if I'm completely honest. Why in the world would I pay someone to give me a box of something broken to put back together? No. No. Puzzles give me anxiety. And if you love them, you do you, no judgment. Puzzles give me anxiety. And so I was finding that these books that I was picking up, because they're New York Times bestsellers, how can millions of people be wrong? Well, apparently they can, at least in terms of my taste. And so even though there's been a steep learning curve in terms of learning how to write fiction, because that's been new for me. I'm learning more about the craft of writing. And it's a double-edged sword. At the age that I am, I'm like, on one hand, I think, it's too late. I feel like I should already be really good at something at 50, right? I should be a master at something. But I'm not. If I'm a master at anything, it's at putting out fires and hacking things, right? Because I can hack any situation. I'm really good at that. And I've been really intentional about trying to teach those skills to Nate because, when the cards are down, are you going to fall with them or are you going to find a new way? Yeah. But I don't want that to be the only thing good. I don't want that to be the only thing I'm good at. I want something that I like creating. And so it's weird to be starting over at 50 in terms of career. And I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid. I am not giving up my day job. But it's been interesting to write curriculum, write expository writing in the morning for my day job, and then go to a completely different kind of writing, totally creative, totally out of my own thoughts and imaginations. On the other hand, that has been a real gift. I need to wrap this up. I'm sorry. I'm just blah, 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 blah. It's been a real gift. Like yesterday, I did a lot of prep for Thanksgiving, and I told my husband, I'm going to my think tank. And he said, huh? He turned around and looked at me. I said, yeah, I'm going to go take a long hot shower, and I'm going to get in pajamas, and I'm going to use that time to just think about my book. So I called it my think tank. And I can't tell you how helpful that was for my mood, because when I devote time to just thinking about what I'm going to write, what my character's going to do, the setting, the tone, it validates what I'm currently working on, and it makes me feel better about myself, because it's like, okay, this is new, and that's why it doesn't come naturally. But just because something's new and takes a little work and effort doesn't mean you can't enjoy it. And so, yeah, that's been fun. So I'm trying to feed that energy, right, and keep that attitude, especially coming up here for my birthday. Woo, yeah, and I'm stupid. Oh, I am so, pardon this, I am so damn dumb. I scheduled my yearly physical on my birthday. What the heck? What was I thinking? Ugh, well, now I have to keep it because it takes like 6 months to get in to see this doctor. And that was really stupid to schedule blood work, including an A1C, for like days after Thanksgiving. Oh gosh. Not the brightest bulb, I'm telling you. But, you know, whatever. I'm thinking about going and getting the labs drawn on Monday tomorrow. So it's before Thanksgiving. Oh, you guys. Anyway, yeah, that was stupid to schedule a physical for my birthday. But you know what? Okay, here's the thing. I don't care how badly it goes because you know what? I'm going to call it my fresh start date, right? The other thing I thought a friend of mine did, that leading up to their 50th birthday, they did 50 nice things for themselves for that whole year, so it would actually be a wonderful year. Well, I got days now, so that's out the window. But I thought, you know what? I could do 50 nice things for myself after 50, right? I thought that's stupid. You should be nice to yourself all the time. So I'm just trying to prioritize my personal creative goals. So there's that. But yeah, okay, I'm going to wrap this up because I'm just la 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 la. But if you've watched to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching me ramble and listening to me ramble. If any of this resonates with you, let me know in the comments, or if you like these kind of videos, please give me a thumbs up. But I will tell you what, if nothing else, you will always get the raw, real me, because you know what? Rage against the machines. You can always count on my channel for some real human connection, because we can't get enough of that these days, right? It's hard to tell what's real and what's fake, but I can promise you everything I create, everything I write, everything you see here on my channel will always be real. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Until then, have a great week, and happy Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.